Movie Podcast. It's holiday season has been and gone. I hope Christmas has treated us all, because we are back on our quest to go through every single movie ever made and rank them objectively best to worst. As always, I'm joined by my elite crew. Amelia, how are you doing? How was Christmas?
Christmas was amazing. Thank you for asking.
Joe, how have you been?
Christmas was good.
You've got one!
I left it, it's over there. It's right. Yeah, no, it was alright, yeah. I got a lightsaber for Christmas also. So, I mean, it's good. Man.
And Jacob, have a good Christmas, man?
Yeah, it was alright.
Good. And as you might have guessed, it's Star Wars time. Oh, we excited. Santa has left us a very special little treat, he has, because he's given us the greatest gift of all, the Star Wars Holiday Special. Joe, tell us all about this this thing.
So, Star Wars Star Wars Holiday Special, right? Came out in 1978, which is like a whole year after Star Wars. The first one, which I find is like mad, because you think about it, right? This was the first official, like, further into Star Wars
sequel.
Then,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like this is like, we are used to seeing Star Wars and all these different things and seeing the world like from a shit ton of different perspectives and stuff. But this was like the first time ever that anyone else had seen it, and they were like, it baffles me. Like, I'm so happy that they started making Empire before this. Like, they put it into development first. Because what if they made this and then was like, we'll see how this does, and then we'll decide if we want to make a sequel. If that was the case, we would not be talking about it right now, because it would just be some shitty sci-fi film from the 70s. I
mean, what if someone had decided that whatever Empire ends up being, it has to follow on directly from the holiday special? Because chronologically... that's where it's taking on from.
Can you imagine?
Canonical, by the way.
Sort of.
Right, this is the thing. So I was saying this to you the other day, Sam, right? I actually had a look, right? So this, it's not canon, or not. It's really weird. It's not canon and it's not Legends. It's just it just exists.
So nothing has made it explicitly non-canon. And Life Day has been referenced in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, so Life Day is canon. That's a real thing that exists. And they even did something at Galaxy's Edge recently, like celebrating Life Day.
Did you see that?
Life Day is a real thing.
Cool.
Like, Life Day is a real thing. And there are other elements to this that are apparently canon. I couldn't find which they were.
What about Spaceborne? Is that canon? No, Spaceborne's not canon then.
What's not canon?
Spaceborne.
Oh, well, I mean, you know what? It could be. There has to be some in the Star Wars universe anyway, so we'll just have... This is the only thing that we've been given, so
the thing is, you can canonize the space porn, but even the virtual reality, I will generate a fantasy based entirely off your head, isn't even really porn. It's like all the bits of porn you usually skip through, but that's exclusively what he wants to watch.
They can't actually put porn onto a Christmas special. I mean, if they could, I imagine that scene probably would have just been porn. But yeah. So there's a whole bunch of different things, but it's not even Legends, and which I found because they kind of consider anything that's not canon is just Legends, but this is so bad that they don't even want to make it Legends. It's just kind of, it just floats. It's just nothing.
Is it like, when you have one of those crossover episodes for either Comic Relief or Children in Need or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never really, it's just, it's not actually this character doing this thing in their universe, it's just...
Yeah, pretty much.
It's kind of like banter.
It's kind of like what the Marvel show's going to be, like What If? It's kind of like that, in a sense. But that might actually be good. But, in a sense that it's not going to affect anything.
The holiday special exists in this weird thing where it's grown a cult sort of like backwards love. Like people don't like this, but people love to hate this. So if even one creator with enough clout gets to work on Star Wars and decides to put the fucking cooking tutorial in the background of one scene, that canonizes the whole thing.
They just go through like a market or something, and that character's just in the background somewhere or something like that. But the maddest thing about this was though that this potentially could have been canon when it came out. Like this was actually Chewie's family. This was actually the way it was. Bad, bad. Anyway, it was directed by two guys, Steve Binder and David Akomba. I probably said that wrong. I don't think they directed it at the same time, because I think it was a case of one realised how shit it was, and the other one just kind of picked up the mantle and was like, eh. And to give you an even further indication of how bad the pre-production on this was, it has 5 writers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that
and
just
one
like
of
all the
them,
different bits?
I think so, yeah. It could be, or it could just be like people just giving up on it because it's shit. One of them, a guy called Bruce Lange. Probably should have seen how you pronounce these. Anyway, it's fine. He apparently was heavily using cocaine while he helped to write this.
Oh wow, you can tell. You can tell.
Yeah. Is he the one that decided on let's have a little child watch a hologram of a circus act for 5 continuous minutes, and we have to watch him watch the whole thing?
You could literally imagine though, he's just there and it's the 70s, he's just doing a line of coke, he's his typewriter, and he's like, oh, Star Wars, circus. He just, you know what I mean? That's what I'm picturing in my head. Some guy just high off coke, just sniffing it or whatever off the keys. And
he's just looking around his room, picking out loads of different things, going, that, and then mixing it in.
Yeah. There's just an umbrella or something on the side.
Like a poster of Star Wars.
Yeah, literally.
And then he's got he can see like his taxes on his desk, and he's like, I've got Leia's scene sorted.
Yeah, literally. Now he just pours cocaine onto random keys and just sniffs it up, and then just leaves whatever is typed out, and that's this entire thing. That's how this thing came together. But yeah, anyway, so he was using cocaine. So I have a couple of facts for this. So apparently, this was actually kind of received quite well at first. Right after it aired, people were like, "Oh yeah, it was alright. It was quite fun." Is it?
Were they also on cocaine while they were watching it?
Maybe. It was the 70s, you know what I mean?
Anything goes.
I struggle to believe that, because honestly, I firmly believe that you could use this as a form of torture, and you would get information out of whoever you're torturing. Because the one saving grace of watching this now in 2019 is to be able to check the bar of how long it's gone across. But because there's literally no structure to the plot at all,
the fact that there's even a plot,
you've got no idea whether it's ending in 2 minutes or 2 hours, right?
Literally.
It could feasibly just go on forever.
Literally, it's so bad. And I think the reason this wasn't viewed as badly as it is now is because when we watch this now, we're like, oh, this is Star Wars, this is what Star Wars was. Whereas then, it's like, oh, this is a kid's thing. It's absolute shite, but it's fine. It's for kids.
True.
Don't have to worry about it.
Could you imagine though? Right? It's 1978, right? And last year you went to see Star Wars, right? It was a bit of a big deal, but all your mates, they didn't go and see it because they don't like the kids' films. They think it's a bit stupid, whatever. But you've been telling them for 12 months how cool Star Wars is, right? Right, it's not on home video. They've not checked it out. They didn't go to the cinema, but and then you open the TV guide and you see the word Star Wars Holiday Special, and you think, great! Oh my God, Star Wars on the television for free. Get all my buddies around, and they can experience Star Wars. And they see Nala and Lumpy going.
Thing is, I know what that feels like. Based on the recent history of Star Wars films and my feelings towards said Star Wars films, and telling everyone, Star Wars, it's fun, yeah, it's brilliant, it's great, I love it. And then the films that have come out, and you go, some of it's good, I promise.
I know exactly what you mean.
Right?
He's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, man. God. I mean, it just goes to show, doesn't it? Like, it's what, 50 years? Oh, God, yeah, 40 years later.
Well, here you go. 77, my dad was 11 when he saw it, and he's 53 now. So 40,
Just
43,
do the maths
42
based
years.
on when it came out and what the date is
No,
now.
I'm not that good.
Rather than saying,
it's
it
like-
came out in 77 and now it's 2019. It's, well, my dad was 11 when it came out and now he's this old.
It'd be like,
That's how I remember.
I don't know, it'd be like 40-something years, won't it? But, I mean, it just goes to show that even 40-something years later, they still can't make good Star Wars. Anyway.
This is the thing, though. Really quick touching on this.
so-
I was talking to my dad about it. He says, and I want to get your opinion on this as well, really quick. He reckons the reason why the newer films haven't done so well is partly down to the fact that there's too many characters and the fact that we are not invested in the characters at all. Like, my dad was like, I couldn't give a shit about Poe, Finn and Rey, whereas I gave tons of shits about Luke, Han and Leia. He said he just doesn't he doesn't feel attached to them. He
I
said
don't
it's
think
too
the same
that's-
number of people.
I don't think that's the movie's problems. I think that's your dad's problem, to be honest with
Do
you.
you think?
It is. I know that sounds harsh, but like it's the same number of characters, and I think they've, especially in Force Awakens, they did a very good job, particularly with Rey. Like one of my favorite Star Wars moments of all time is watching her slide down that little sand dune as her theme starts playing. Like I've
She had a
never
good
quite
opening.
been whisked away to a galaxy far, far away, quite like I was when I saw things like that. You know, like I think if you want to get invested, then you can get right in there. But if all you want is Luke, Leia, and Han because you're stuck in 1977, then yeah, I could see that being a bit of a blockage.
No, this is the thing, because he loved The Mandalorian. I think he just thinks that he just doesn't get where they're going. Like, and to be fair, neither do I. I'm not 100%
No
sure.
one does. No one knows where they've been going.
If you watch any of those 3 films, then no one knows where the fuck they're
It's
going.
like
Not
it's
even
Change
the writers
directions
know
every
where
single
going.
time.
That's
It's
why
literally
it was such a
like-
shambles.
Yeah, it's literally like, and again, I say this as someone who has not yet seen Rise of Skywalker.
Neither.
Don't bother, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not bothering.
Don't
Force
need to.
Awakens starts with
Don't
the
worry about
idea of what if we tell this one story that only I, J.J. Abrams, know what it is, and I plant 50 mystery boxes in it. And then Ryan Johnson says, what if we bin all the mystery boxes and I set us off with a fresh slate where we could feasibly go in a million different directions and really widen out the universe.
Oh yeah, but you're weird. You like The Last Jedi.
I know, but still, you can't deny that that's what Ryan Johnson was trying to do. Fresh slate, we can go anywhere with Star Wars now.
Thing
That's
is-
what
Yeah,
Last
it's
Jedi
fair
was
enough,
supposed
but,
to be
like-
doing. And then, from what I understand from reception of The Rise of Skywalker, JJ's gone, what if I reassemble my mystery boxes and
That's
open
basically
them
it.
all on my terms?
See,
If they'd started the new trilogy with Ryan Johnson,
yeah,
yeah,
See,
you
this
could
one-
carry on from there.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was 7, here's this new story idea.
Yeah.
8, fuck that.
Here's
Here's
a new
another
news-
new story
yeah.
don't worry
idea.
about that.
And then 9 was, but I still want to do what 7 was doing. Like, I saw some
That's where it's
picture
that's
of
its issue, I think.
7 was 7, 8 was like 7.5.
Yeah.
And then 9 was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and just
Yeah, literally.
way more than it needed to be.
Like, I remember going into this thinking it was going to be what JJ's version of 8 and 9 mushed together. And that's exactly what it is. It's just all of his ideas mushed together, which probably would have actually been okay if he'd done the whole trilogy. Or even if he split this last one. Like, me and Jacob... Jacob, me and you were talking about how the Rise of Skywalker could benefit from it being 2 parts. And obviously it's episode 9, and I know that it's meant to be 3 films or whatever. But what they could have done it doesn't have to be like Avengers, where it's Avengers 3, there's Infinity War, and 4. It could be like Star Wars Episode 9, Part 1, then Part 2, and then they bring it together and the whole thing's Episode 9. It'd be 4 hours long, but we'll still watch it. We'll still pay the money
It
to
worked
watch
with
it.
Harry Potter, though.
Exactly, it works to Harry
I
Potter.
was kind of
so-
going to contribute, contrary to what I said last week.
Because part 1 of the Deathly Hallows is fucking boring.
But if
Well,
they'd
this is
done
the
all
thing.
of that with Part 2, it would have felt too rushed.
Yeah, I do agree with
And
that.
it would have felt cramped.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how Rise of Skywalker feels.
See, this is the different way. With Harry Potter, I mean, I've not read it, but I imagine the reason it's like that in the film is because the book starts off slower, but it works because it's the whole thing.
Yeah, the
Whereas
book
with Star
is really
Wars-
slow. It's really slow,
Well,
the 7th
yeah,
book.
that's what I mean. So that would naturally, the first part would be a little slower than the second part. But because this is Star Wars, and it's been made up, being written by people, they could write it as 2 parts. So that you could have all the bit as the one bit, and then have like a big, like a big thing at the end, and then it leads into the second part, which is like a similar. It could have done something like that. It might have been a bit choppy when they edited it together.
That's clearly what they were supposed to do between episode 8 and 9, but because no one could get along backstage, that's not what happened.
I want to be in the room when I hope that there was an actual meeting between Rian Johnson and JJ, where they go in with the intention of being like, right, we're going to start Star Wars, and it ends with them just like throwing chairs at each other or something. Or it's like, no, I want Star Wars this way. This is the way people want it. It's like, no, fuck the fans. I want it this way. You know what I mean? It's the way. I don't know. And then Mark Hamill's just in the side, just being really sad as well. And I feel really bad for him.
He's such a lovely guy as well.
I know.
Apologies to your dad, Amelia. I feel bad. I feel like I was too harsh to Amelia.
No, it's fine.
But anyway, the holiday special.
Yeah.
From a time where before Star Wars was, the thing that it is now. I mean, it was pretty big still, but yeah. Anyway, another fact is that George Lucas apparently hated this so much that he tried to buy every single copy of it up so it could never be aired again, and he did not succeed, obviously, because we're watching it still now.
Love
that. But that's how much he hated it. Like, apparently, that it was a case of, it was like, have you ever read the story or heard the story about when Disney bought Star Wars and George Lucas was like, oh, I have some treatments for 7, 8, and 9 if you're just interested.
Yeah.
And they just kind of binned it off and was like, nah, don't worry about it, we'll do our own thing. Apparently, it was a similar situation here. Like, George Lucas wrote a treatment for this, gave it to them, and they were like, yeah, okay, we'll have a look at it, kind of thing, and then they just did their own thing with it. There was still some stuff in it. Like, some of this stuff that's in this is his ideas, but, like, it wasn't all, like, confined to Chewie's house, for example. They went to, like, the bit where they go to Tatooine, they go to Mos Eisley Cantina, and we watched that Netflix documentary. He, actually thingies. Like, that's Chewie. Chewie went there to do that instead, and it was the whole thing. So they kind of follow this, whatever. But yeah,
was Chewie supposed to be like the bartender or the pervert in that scene?
I don't think he was. I think it was going to be a completely different scene.
Oh, okay.
From the sounds of it, I think the original script was something like they were doing Life Day, and then something was missing from Life Day, so then Chewie had to then travel around the galaxy to get it or something with his family. I think that was the whole point. I mean, that's what I get from it. I don't know what the situation is, but it's shit anyway, so it's fine. The other fact is, as well, at the very beginning, it's listing off all the characters, and it says Thingy's name, doesn't it? It says James Earl Jones as Darth Vader.
Yeah.
This is actually the first time he was credited for this role. He wasn't credited as Darth Vader in the original version of A New Hope.
Ooh.
So when people were like, I imagine people might have actually been James Earl Jones as Darth Vader, they'd be like, why did they change you play Darth Vader?
I mean, that's really fucking bad. That's really bad.
It's like they did credit him in Empire and Jedi, but not A New Hope.
No one really talks about this stuff anymore, but it should get talked about. It's like, so Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, Winston's just not on the posters.
Oh, he's not now.
Winston's just not on the posters. And when they were cropping the footage for VHS release originally, you know that shot of them all on the roof? They cropped him out. They just went.
It's bad
gone.
that, you know.
Isn't that fucking awful?
As a kid, I didn't realise there was 4. I always thought there was 3.
Like,
same. Before I watched it, it was always, oh yeah, there are 3 Ghostbusters.
Like, that's just not on.
That,
and I'm not obviously coming heavy-handed and saying that's exactly what happened with James Earl Jones, because I simply don't know. But it sounds suspiciously similar. You know, he's the one black guy in the whole cast.
Yeah.
Doesn't get credited.
And he didn't. Yeah.
That's
well,
bad.
This is the thing. Like, he got credited for this, but the single Darth Vader cameo in this entire film, well, yeah, I'd call it a film. It's a film, I guess. I don't know. The single Darth Vader cameo in this, it wasn't even filmed for this. It was a bloody deleted scenes from A New Hope.
I thought it looked different. It doesn't. It looks like it has a much higher production quality.
Yeah, all the stuff with the
scene.
models, like you can tell that it's just ripped from A New Hope, can't you? Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff was just deleted scenes, and this Darth Vader scene, that's why he's not in it again, because they just used a deleted scene from A New Hope and made it as if they were talking about him then, when actually I imagine this could have been the bit like when he's on his way to his TIE fighter or something at the end of the film, maybe. Who knows? I can't remember what he says. But yeah, it's bad. So the other thing as well, last kind of little fact.
Oh, sorry to jump in.
Go on.
So hold your thought. James Earl Jones does get credited for this. Kenny Baker does not, though.
I was going to say that.
Because
yeah?
R2-D2 is playing himself.
That, yeah.
Although
that was really bad.
Stick a small man in a fucking tin can. Don't even give him a credit.
he got credited in New Hope, didn't he?
I think he did,
so, yeah.
Well, I heard something somewhere about how R2 was mostly like remote controlled for most of this.
That was it. I mean, still, there must have been some.
Yeah, he doesn't really move, does he? He's just in that scene with Luke.
I reckon there could be a team of people who did it on different days. Because he doesn't do much, he just kind of spins and that's it.
Yeah.
I reckon it was just say it was R2 who was R2.
Yeah.
Because it was like 6 different people.
Yeah. Well,
maybe.
It's just I find it really weird, the whole opening scene though, where it's like Star Wars Holiday Special, yeah, and it's just like, alright, chill. But yeah, so my last fact as well is obviously this is set on Chewie's home planet, which we now know is called Kashyyyk, and it looks like they have actually when we actually saw Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith, they've actually kept the design. So that could actually be another thing that maybe possibly makes this canon, but I doubt it. So they keep the design. It's the the tree houses and it's the big massive trees, but it's not called Kashyyyk in this. I actually couldn't find anything of this. Everyone always just says it's set in Kashyyyk, but there's actually a line of dialogue in this film where the guy says he says like it's when the Empire put this planet like into fucking quarantine or something. He doesn't call it Kashyyyk, he calls it Kazook. Kazook. So this planet, apparently, at this point in time, is called Kazook, and then they later changed it to Kashyyyk.
Maybe it's in the Kashyyyk system or something, you know? Like there's the Dagobah system, and then there's Dagobah. So maybe there is Kashyyyk system, there's Kashyyyk over there, there's Kazook over here.
Kazook.
I reckon they'll probably do that in, if you see a star map. And then there'll just be little tiny letters. Oh yeah, this one's called Kazook. Like how they did in Iron Man 2 with Wakanda.
Yeah.
They showed that map just in the background. Just this one's Wakanda.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing because I don't know what the actual system's called. I mean, I imagine it would be one quick Google away, knowing Star Wars. But yeah, no, the planet is called Kazook. I don't know if the planet is called Kashyyyk in the main canon, or if it's just the system, or who knows. But yeah. So I was very surprised.
Maybe it's called Kazook post Rise of the Empire.
Maybe yeah.
They went around renaming things like Alexander the Great used to. So the Emperor was like,
maybe.
Let's demean the Wookiees. Name their planet Kazoo.
Literally, it's just bad in it, But yeah, anyway, so we'll get into the actual film now. So we open on the shot of the Falcon outrunning some Imperial Star Destroyers, which I am convinced is deleted scenes. I don't know where it would have come in. Maybe the bit when they run away from Tatooine, maybe. They might have used the model things and then put a different planet behind it. Who knows? Obviously, they run away. Chewie's complaining about wanting to get back for Life Day.
It's a very wobbly set.
Don't worry, pal, I'll get you back. It's like, alright.
Very wobbly set.
It's... Literally, it's very zoomed in as well. I was convinced that they had just built a bit of a backdrop and they hadn't built the whole cockpit for this, because most of it was zoomed in, and there was one shot later on where you see the whole thing, and then I was like, why is it so zoomed in for the rest of it then? Why is it so uncomfortably close to these characters? It's just weird. But then obviously we get that bit where everyone's being introduced. It's like Star Wars Holiday Special, and it's like great. And I've just realised I do actually have a note here saying that Kenny Baker didn't get credited. So so we are introduced to all the characters we know. Everyone's like, oh, you got Luke, you got Leia, you got Han, you got Chewie, you got R2 and C-3PO or whatever. And then we get Chewie's family. So you've got his wife Marla, his dad Itchy. And his son, Lumpy. It's not good.
The fact that one of them's like you've got itchy and lumpy. If something's itchy and lumpy, it's very wrong.
Go to the doctor. I cannot believe in any universe where Chewbacca did not name his son specifically to get bullied, right? Like,
well, the thing is,
there's
apparently their nicknames.
Well, I was going to say because as well, how would Chewie and Marla pronounce those names?
Hang on, I'll tell you what. Or how does anyone pronounce Chewie?
them? They just be roaring.
Right. Hang on, I'm gonna bring up Wikipedia.
That's literally what it would be.
Have you guys seen the footage that's come out recently of so it's footage of Star Wars without the ADR done, so you can hear Peter Mayhew deliver lines.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah,
it's well funny. Like it's like in the hangar in Hoth. Like Chewie's just
Where
like, where the hell have you been?
Well, don't be long. It's like really British.
Oh man. Have you ever seen the watch called the Darth one from Thingy with before they got James Earl Jones to do the voice of Darth Vader?
It's so funny.
And it's Thingy doing the voice. What's his name?
Dave Prowse.
Dave Prowse, yeah. And isn't he like
guy.
Scottish or something? And he's like, where are the plans going? It's like, right?
Do you know who I saw the other day? Boba Fett. Before Boba Fett got dubbed for the there's a New Zealand guy. What's his name?
Well, you saw him?
No, it was on Twitter. I'll send it to
Oh
you
right,
guys.
I thought you said you saw
American,
him.
isn't he, originally?
He sounds
Yeah.
like a Western, like he's no good to me, dead kind of like. It actually
Mad,
sounds
innit?
kind of cool.
That voice.
I can't do impressions.
That was like London. That was like
He's
EastEnders.
no good to me, dead.
Impressions aren't my strong point. You know what I mean. That kind
Get
of
your head
vibe.
Solo, £2 a pair.
Oh man, imagine Star Wars set in London though. That'd be well different. Well good. Jabba's pals would just be like a pub or something, won't it?
Oh my god, it well would. Do you know how like people do like Macbeth, but in the modern day? Can we do Star Wars, but in London?
You know what though? I actually got one year as a Christmas present. I don't know what it is. It's the entire script for A New Hope, but in Shakespearean.
Yeah,
I've seen
they're
that.
dope.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful. I want someone to actually do it. It's beautiful. It's like I read the bit because I read the Empire Strikes Back one in like a bookshop, and the bit where he says "I'm your father," he's like, "I doth father," something stupid. He doesn't say. He just says like "father" and then a bunch of Shakespearean words. But it's just mad. It's just good. But but yeah, no, yeah. So Chewie's family. I actually think that he's already been confirmed to have a different family. Like I think he's actually got a different wife in canon. And
Maybe they broke up.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe looking after
See, this
Lumpy
is the
was
thing.
just too much for them. Oh my god.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
Broke the marriage up.
I mean,
He's a bit of a little shit, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
To be honest.
Oh man, that fucking sound
pain
that
in
he
the arse.
makes, like that screeching sound that he makes, it's so horrible. Especially at the beginning when he's doing the fucking Starfighter thing, where he's like, "Eh!" It's honestly horrible.
I
Like,
felt
I'm
like
not.
a TIE fighter when you said that.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh,
I found their real names.
Okay.
So Marla is actually Malatabuk. Lumpy
Malatabuk.
is Lumpawaru,
Lumpawaru.
Oh my god.
and Itchy is Atichicook.
Oh my days.
An itchy cook.
I think we'll stick
Basically.
with Lumpy, Itchy, and Marla.
But yeah, there you go.
See,
That took
this
me
is the
ages to
thing
find
though.
those.
Marla sounds like a Star Wars name to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But Itchy and Lumpy does not. It's like
It sounds like a goldfish or like some shit.
it does, yeah. It sounds like something you call your cat.
Goldfish.
It's just not good. I don't understand who thought that was a good idea.
What I'd like to know is out of those 5 writers that you talked about, which one is responsible for deciding that most of this dialogue should be in Wookiee and not have any subtitles, so you're just watching them growl at each other for
Honestly,
ages?
I can imagine it might have been. I know obviously George Lucas didn't have much of a say, but I can imagine him saying something like,
Yeah.
"Oh, but it needs to be because they're Wookiees, they don't speak English, so they need to roar." And it's like, "Yeah, but George, it's like 10 minutes of just roaring." It's like, "I don't care. It's the way it is in Star Wars." That's what I can hear him saying.
And he runs
McClunky. Literally, oh god, it's bad. But yeah, so we meet his family, and it's you get the names and you just roll your eyes. And then we get like a list of guest stars as well, who I didn't know any of them apart from this Jefferson Starship.
Did you not know Beehive there from the Golden Girls?
I knew that after thing. I knew the name, but it was only after I googled it. I was like, oh wait, yeah, I recognised it from other things. I did do some googling, but I forgot to put it on my document. So as of right now, it has a list of all the guest stars. So we've got Beatrice Arthur, and next to it says in caps, "Get info." Art Carney, get info. Diane Carroll, get info, and then just Jefferson Starship, because I do have something on. I know who Jefferson Starship are, and I do have something. And then we have Harvey Korman as well. But yeah, anyway, so we go down to Kazoo, and we go to Chewie's house, and his wife's cooking, his dad's crafting an X-wing, and his son comes downstairs, making the sound that I imagine they play on the speakers when you go to hell. It's horrible. It's the worst sound in the world. I thought there was something wrong with my audio when I was watching it. It was horrible. It's bad. God. It's terrible. But yeah, obviously, we get a whole 5-10 minutes of roaring. So I'm going to do my best to translate what they were saying. So
Just an actual translation.
Yeah, this is what I mean. No, it's not. It's what I assume they are saying based on their actions. So Lumpy comes over. He starts whooshing the thing around his granddad, and Marla shouts to him. She's like, "Stop pissing off your granddad! Take the fucking rubbish out before your dad gets home." And Lumpy's all takes the rubbish out, and he's taking it out, and he's like, "Oh mate, this world sucks. My mum sucks. It's meant to be fucking Christmas." Look, can we take the fucking
is this where Lumpy's looking over the edge, contemplating fucking suicide?
Yeah. He's like, fuck this, man. If this our mum's going to treat me on Christmas, I'm going to fucking jump off the edge.
Oh my god.
That's what it is. That's what he does. He's like, oh, mate, I was playing that sweet fucking Starship, man. She's making me take shit out.
On the way
but yeah, so...
still.
Anyway, so... yeah. So he walks on the edge. He's walking on the edge of a matte painting, and then he goes back inside. So this is the thing, right? He goes back inside, doesn't he? And Marla and Itchy... Well, no, we head back inside. He doesn't. He probably jumps off. Marla and Itchy go back inside. And they're just, like, looking at a picture of Chewie. But, like, it's not like a family picture. It's just a picture of it.
I don't know what trading card. Let's be honest.
Maybe.
Like his fucking headshot.
like I don't know what your guys' houses are like, but I don't have just a picture of my dad in the living room with no one else in the picture. Like my mum and dad have a picture of me and a picture of my sister with just us. But not just a picture of my dad just chilling, you know what I mean?
It's a really weird frame in it as well. It goes about like 8 inches deep, and then there's Chewie, like he's super protected.
Yeah, it's weird, it's so
man.
Weird.
Not even 5 minutes in, oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so they look at the picture, they're all depressed or whatever. Itchy gets an idea to let the kid watch a show and gets out his tape. He gets all excited. Yeah, literally, and then... so he's like, oh yeah, granddad, fucking let me put that on. And then Marla's like, fuck no, don't let him put him on. And, they're all arguing.
Please, can you dub this whole thing with you just talking?
Sam, take Joe's audio and re-edit it.
As I was watching it, honestly, I was writing it as I was watching it. And there's like certain lines that I'm just like, oh, he's saying this. And the one that I have written down for when Itchy tells Marla to stop, shouting at him, I have written down, Itchy basically tells her to stop being a moody bitch and let the kid watch some cartoons. So that's what I have written down for that.
Stop being a moody bitch.
So she does that. And then we get we get the really weird carnival thing with the uncomfortable music. And is this what George Lucas thought music in the Star Wars universe is
so
like?
Creepy.
It's
weird, isn't it? It's so bad.
Awful.
But then I suppose this is something from the same mind that brings us Jedi Rocks. You know, that one where it's like, dun, 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 dun. It's just in fucking...
in Jabba's Palace.
Yeah, Jabba's Palace, where they replace just the normal, the normal tunes. Oh, well. But yeah, anyway, so he's watching his carnival thing, and it's not great. It's weird, it's creepy, it makes you uncomfortable, and
it's like
that
a
was
shit
what I was
circus,
watching on Christmas. I was like, yeah, it's like 5 minutes long.
I would have actually rather watched Itchy and Lumpy play that space chess thing that Chewie and 3PO play for like 5 whole minutes, not understanding
like
the rules.
Full game.
Yeah, a full game than this.
Yeah, like honestly, it would have been so much better. But yeah, anyway, so Marla interrupts while he's watching it, and she's like, pause your game while you get his dishes done, and Lumpy's like, but Mum, it's an online game, I can't pause it, and then he ends up doing the dishes. So Marla goes and checks the computer and finds there's no starships in the area. She finds there's no starships in the area. I'm just like writing I'm just quoting things that I've written.
With your quotes on, straight up.
Oh man. Yeah, so she checks the thing, and then Gramps comes over and says, calm down, will you, Jesus Christ. If you're that bothered, phone that Skyrunner kid, and fucking husband loves you so much, you know what I mean? Because he's an old man, so, So anyway. So she's thinking, she's well depressed because Chewie's late. So then she ends up Skyping Luke, who tells him that Hannah and Chewie left ages ago.
It's weird though, because he doesn't just say it, does he? He's like, Chewie? No, I've not seen him for ages.
He's got to have been high as well. Like. Oh
man, like honestly, he's just...
Mark Hamill's the only one that seems to know what he's in right now.
Yeah, literally.
That's how it comes across.
Like, he loves, Star Wars, being in Star Wars so much. So imagine how painful this must have been for him to be in this. To actually be an active member of, this cast. And
how badly did the makeup team go rogue on his face as well? His face and his hair are exactly the same colour.
I heard about this. Yeah. Apparently he had a car crash.
I was going to say, was it
just
the car
after his
crash?
car crash, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they had it in the Wampa. That's the whole reason the Wampa's in Star Wars.
Because he's got the thing on his face, doesn't he? All the actual scars that he's in when he's in the Banter tank thing.
Or Wampa. Is it Wampa?
Yeah, the tank thing that he's in at the beginning of Empire after the Wampa attacks. All the scars on his face and all the bits after that are real scars. Not scars, but real injuries he got from his car crash. Which I think is well cool. Whereas
all
in
this
this
makeup was just to cover that up, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So it's like, don't want Empire spoilers. Man's been in a car crash. But yeah, no. So so they talk to Luke, give a quick FaceTime, and then he ends it with this really weird thing where he's like, give me a little smile, and then she does this, so she's like... It's so weird. She looks directly into the camera, and you can see her human eyes behind all that fur, and it's like, oh my god, no. Please stop. But yeah, and then she phones up Son Dan, who's played by Art Carney, and he's showing off stuff to an off-duty Imperial officer, showing around the shop when he gets the phone call, and he's like, oh yeah, that shaggy carpet you're getting, yeah, don't worry love, it's on its way. And he makes that really thing, doesn't he? What does he say? He says it's being made by some old woman by hand, solo, badum. So bad. And the Imperial officer, who I assume has just been briefed on the people who blew up the Death Star, one of them being called Han Solo, is just there like, nothing peculiar going on here. Just thousands and millions of our officers just got obliterated in a second, but it's fine. I'm just going to look around this pawn shop and see what there is. You know what I mean? Like, why is
you mean pawn shop or pawn shop?
Pawn shop. Pawn.
I mean, it's
Porn.
both, really, isn't it?
I mean, to be fair, Sondan then does bring the porn later on, so it could be a porn shop. We don't know what he sells.
That's what I'm thinking.
But yeah, so anyway,
Perhaps
hangs
it's
up.
like in Clerks. Like, that's what his shop's like.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Anyway, so he hangs up, and the Imperial officer basically steals that glorified razor that he has. And then he talks to himself for a bit. Because of course he does. And then we get the good old Darth Vader cameo. You know, he's talking about searching the houses. Which actually, maybe, if he's talking about searching the houses, because I've written this as I was watching it. So it says that he's searching the houses for rebels. So that'll be from the bit at the beginning of Empire, won't it? At the beginning of A New Hope, when they're like above Tatooine. And it's like, he's like, search all houses for the rebels.
Maybe James Earl Jones did new audio for this. Like, I don't doubt that the
Maybe.
footage is from A New Hope, but he might have recorded original audio.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Either way, that's the only time we see Darth Vader in this whole thing. Which surprises me, actually, considering, you know, they work... At this moment in time, Star Wars toys were, like, probably going mad. Especially if it was going to
No,
Christmas.
it wasn't until Empire that
Is it not
kicked
here?
off. No.
Mad.
Yeah.
I thought it was like... When was the thing where they brought the toys out, and because they couldn't make them enough, like, in time, they gave out the slips of paper
There was the slip
to give
of
to your
paper.
kids?
I feel like it was the in-between time. So, like,
Was it?
shit, people love this. We'll
Was
get
it not
them
the
out
first-
ready for Empire, but they just couldn't. So,
I
like
thought
said,
that
they
it
gave
was-
out the slip.
I thought it was the first Christmas after the film, like it's Christmas of '77.
I mean, it could have
Because
been
it was all-
right. I've just heard that Empire was mad, but...
Yeah, I know. I think what
Let
happened
me
was
Google it.
the first, from what I've heard, it hadn't been done before, had it? The whole merchandise in a film kind of thing.
No.
But the everyone loved it, and it got to a point where so many
1978,
people.
yeah, it was the year after.
Yeah, so yes, basically what they did was, because they couldn't make the action figures in time for Christmas, they basically let people pre-order them, and then they were giving these slips of paper to kids for Christmas that basically said, oh, you have got some Star Wars figures, but they're not coming till like
Yeah,
February
here we go.
or something, yeah.
How kids, for Christmas 1977, the year that kids got empty boxes with no toys but the promise of an action figure.
Yeah.
God.
There you go.
It was so bad. And then I think they maybe picked up the game a bit when Empire came out, and that's why it was so like, because they were like, right, we've got to be on top of it this time, and it, you know, Star Wars, and it went mad. But yeah, but actually, speaking of that really quick, I forgot to write this down, but I did have a look. They did actually plan on merchandising this as well. There were actual concepts for action figures based on the characters in this.
I hope
So
Kenner turned it down.
I think they did, yeah. I think
I
they
want a
stopped it.
3.75-inch Art Carney. Make it happen,
That's
Hasbro.
literally, no, honestly. It was him, I think it was Marla, Itchy, and Lumpy. You could get all of them as well. And you actually, yeah, they planned on doing it. I imagine if this was successful, there might have even been like a Chewie's House playset that you would have got. You can imagine that would have been something they would have done.
But did it come with the
And-
soft porn?
Maybe. I bet it would have come with that chair, you know what I mean? Probably. Put Itchy in there, it's like, oh, you'd imagine that, 1979, 8, whatever.
Imagine
You
the
get
advert
your...
for that. It's like put Marla in the cooking. Give Itchy, give Lumpy his little X-wing, and get Grandad off in the middle of the living room.
And then you just know as soon as you did that, it would be a shot of us like Chewie popping his head through the door going, and like, it's literally, 1970s toy cartoons, you know what I mean? Beautiful.
Best thing ever.
Yeah, so after we get Darth Vader's cameo, we go back to the Wookiee household, and Lumpy has just finished doing the dishes, and his mum tells him he can go back to his game, and he's like, Mum, it's over now, you probably ruined my KD, so thanks, and he fucks off. Marla goes on YouTube and starts watching a tutorial for, was it Bantha Surprise? And the character is called Chef Gamanda, with 2 A's, because it's Star Wars, so just add an extra...
Like 2 A's at the end.
Gore.
Gamanda.
No, the 2 A's are in the middle. So it's God,
Gamanda.
G-O-R, and then man with an extra A, and then da. Gomanda, something like that. It's weird.
Do you know
Anyway,
what?
we get this...
I very nearly tried to make this dish. I didn't, which is gutting. Maybe for another day. But because I know how to make it. You whip, stir, whip, stir, whip, stir, whip, stir, whip, stir, whip, stir, stir. And I know how to make it, I just haven't done it yet.
You've memorised that. I mean, doesn't take much, I suppose, but oh no.
It's bad. So over the next 2 minutes or so, we get lines such as, you only know the size of what did she say? You only know the size of a bite in your family, which, followed by some weirdly sexual noises. And then she starts getting pretty intense, and she starts stirring the stuff. The chef starts fucking whipping and nay-naying all over the kitchen counter. Not to mention, she starts beating the meat at the same time. It's a whole thing. It's so bad. Eventually, obviously, Marla turns it off because it's all a bit weird and sexual for the kitchen. But it's fine because then we get to go to a classic Star Wars battle, possibly clips from A New Hope. That's what my notes say. Upon reviewing, definitely clips from A New Hope. 100%. I'm pretty sure I saw clips in there that are ones that they ended up using in the final film. Like, I'm sure that bit where the TIE fighters are coming over the Falcon is an actual, just a clip from the film. When they're trying to escape Tatooine, it's like, they're shooting them. I think it's literally just the same thing. Like, I tried to compare them, and it's the same. So after that, we go back to the house. The Empire broadcast a message to everyone, saying they're going to be searching the homes. And at the moment, we got our first knocking at the door trick that they do in this film constantly, where you get a knock on the door and they think it's someone else, and it turns out to be someone else. It's like, oh my god, the Empire's there. Oh, it's just all done. It's fine. It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry about it. He comes bearing gifts, hands them out, and he's being really weird and requesting kisses for everyone. So we see what everyone gets. We do end up seeing what everyone gets. Lumpy gets what I first thought was Lego, because that's what it looks like when he pours it out. It's like, shh. It's like, alright. And then Itchy gets what is, I'm convinced, is, obviously we said before, porn in the Star Wars universe. So, like, as I was watching it, I was just kind of chilling. I was watching it, came on, and the whole thing started, and I was like, haha, lol, she got in porn.
How does Sundan
and then
describe it as well? He goes, this is a bit, wow.
Yeah. When he said that, I was like, oh man, what's he got in porn? That'd be funny. And then it was, and I was like, what? What the fuck? Oh my god. And then we get the most 70s music video I've ever seen, like, in my entire life. As like a metaphor for like Grandad Itchy getting his rocks off or something, you know what I mean? It's so weird.
I mean, what if?
She's being all weird and she's like,
right, because, bodies change and stuff as you get older, right? What if Grandad's like really excited by this, right? And he does the whole no hands, and it's just... he tells Marla, oh no, it's this new action movie, half an hour later, he splurges all over the fucking living room carpet.
Oh no.
See, I'm a girl, I don't get this.
That's atrocious. You're gonna have
there goes our PG rating.
You're gonna have to cut that.
Oh, it's pretty bad though, isn't it? Like that bit where he's rewinding the bit where she's like, I think you're adorable or something. And he's like, oh yeah, give me some more of that. Rewind. He's like, I think you're adorable. Like, yes. It's so weird. It's so weird. And I was watching it and I was honestly like baffled that this was so obviously meant to be like actual porn. And I was like, oh my god, stop. This is a kid's show. Chill out. Like, the fact that you know what's really weird as well, right? It came just after the bit where she's been weird in the kitchen and it's weirdly sexual. I feel like this whole section was just written by like one horny guy just in the room, and he was like, oh yes,
these are some more of George's ideas.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. See, if this was George as well, right? Because who is this who's in this particular clip? It's Thing, isn't it? Isn't it Diane
Yeah,
Diane Carroll.
Musician.
Yeah, so it's her, and I want to know, right? Have you guys heard the thing that he told Carrie Fisher in the first one?
I was just about to bring this up.
Bras? Yeah,
they don't. He told Carrie Fisher that they don't wear underwear in space, so she didn't wear any underwear. And the reason he gave was something to do.
What? He said something like, his excuse was something like, because of the gravity wells or something, it would strangle them or something like that, or it would make it too tight, so they just don't wear any underwear. That was his rationing. And I want to know whether or not he actually, or someone, used that same idea to say this for this when they were filming this particular scene. Because that'd be really weird. Like,
what the fuck, bro?
It's
No wonder
really
Carrie
weird.
Fisher had a bad time.
Yeah, it was very particular. And then it was a similar thing in Return of the Jedi as well. And then apparently, like, it became a big thing on set when she had to take the bra thing off at the end of the day, and it's all very weird and early 80s and
not
a bit
cool, man.
Not cool. Investigation now.
Yeah, it's very strange. But yeah, so we get the whole 70s porn thing. And then when that's done, we go on the give a Leia and C-3PO a call. And Leia can't be asked talking to Marla, so she's like, just get someone who speaks English. I can't be bothered talking to you. Just get someone who I can actually talk to. She's like, come bring Han and Chewie, and she's like, oh no, they're not there. Oh my god! And then she's like, Son Dan comes on, and he tells her she'll look after him. One thing that she says in this, which I thought was really weird, is Leia says, "Will you look after them until the leader arrives?" Who's the leader? Is Chewie the leader? Or is Han the leader?
I think it's Chewie.
I assumed it would be Chewie.
I think Han thinks it's him, but I think Han might actually be like a sort of like a ward. That Chewie
this is the other thing, though, right?
Around.
This is the other thing, though, right? At the time, this wouldn't have been something, anyway, but later on, as Star Wars been developed, you got to think about that at this point. If this was canon, at this point in canon, Kashyyyk would have been enslaved by the Empire.
Yeah.
So these would have all been slaves. So does that mean that if Han is the leader, is Han like, does he own Chewie and his family?
Well, doesn't, like, in Solo, don't they touch on about how Chewie owes Han a life debt or something?
I think so, yeah. I
so
mean,
because he freed him, he, like, owns Chewie's life.
Yeah. Well, see, originally in Legends, I think, the way Han and Chewie met was because he helped, like, free the Wookiees on Kashyyyk. Whereas in canon, they're still, like, enslaved by the time Jedi happens. Because there's that bit, I've recently been replaying Battlefront 2. And there's one of them, the Han Solo mission is you having to go get intel so you can free the slaves, the Wookiees on Kashyyyk. Which means, and this is like months after as well, I think. So this is months after Jedi. They're still enslaved by the Empire on Kashyyyk. So if this is part of the timeline, then that's a bit weird. But who knows? Oh well. Anyway, she has leader, and he's like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. I'll sort him out. So anyway, Leia disconnects, and we're treated to this line, which I love. It's Son Dan says to her. He says, "Is it some of?" Oh no, I think the oven beeps, and he's like, "Is it some of those famous Wookiees? Not Wookie cookies. It's Wookie Ookies. Like UCKIES.
A
Wookiees." I had to watch it again. I was like, did he not just say Wookie cookies? Like, no, Wookie Ookies. And I was like, okay. But by this point, I was just like, it didn't even surprise me. I was like, alright,
yeah,
sure.
Wookie cookies. Fucking,
yeah.
Oh. I want a Wookie cookie.
Yeah, I want to know what that is. I want them to sell them in Disney so they can make them canon.
I demand Wookie cookies, a Star Wars story. Make it happen, Disney. Make it happen.
So I've just eaten a Wookie Yucky, sorry.
You just changed the name.
Oh yeah. But yeah, anyway, let me go back to Han and Chewie as they finally arrive at Kashyyyk. One thing that I will say about this, actually, the planet in this particular shot is like, it looks very similar, if not the same as it's like official canon version in Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
I mean,
and in the Lego
obviously
games.
the concepts. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, so it's really strange where all of these like ideas came from. Who knows? George Lucas's mind. Yeah, so there's a knock on the door, and we get another one of those. They hear the Falcon go over the head, don't they? And then we get another one of these, trick-in door knocks. They get the knock on the door, it's like, oh my god, Dad's home! And it's like, boom, whoa, stormtroopers. So
boom, whoa,
things start to-
stormtroopers.
literally, that's what he does. That's what that scared roar is. That's what he says. So this is where shit really hits the fan. Officer comes in, starts questioning everyone. Son Dan tries to talk his way through his ID being checked, but it sounds more like a 16-year-old while trying to, talk the cashier into giving him fucking beer or something with a fake ID or something. You know what I mean? It's not great. And then he fucks off. He's like, right, I can't do anything here. I'm leaving. So that stormtrooper checks the cabinet and finds where that TV used to be. But the TV's gone, because apparently TVs are illegal in the Star Wars universe, and they've had to hide it. I guess.
I don't know if it's the TV. I think it's Skype. I think
Skype's illegal in the Star Wars universe.
I think if they knew that they were using, what would he be called? Wookype. If they were using Wookype, then they would know that they've got communication outside of Kazoo. And that's probably illegal because they're slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
maybe, actually. I mean, well, either way, he doesn't get caught with it. And then the officer goes up... is it the officer? One of them goes up to the kid, gets really close to him and says, hey, little guy, where's your daddy? And then the kid's, like, doing a weird roar. And it's really weird. And I'm like, oh, my God, don't stop. Please. Just give me a minute. And then... Yeah, so the Imperials find Mal's present, Son Dan turns it on for the officer, and then we're treated to the kind of something. Wait, hold on, what? Yeah, let's start again. So obviously Jefferson Starship comes on, they play the Star Wars thing, and he's singing with like a really weird thing that looks like he's singing with a lightsaber or something. But does anyone... Sam, you said you know the music. Does anyone else know who Jefferson Starship is?
Yeah, I know who Starship
I've
are.
heard of them. I can't off the top of my head think.
You
of what
know
they
their
did.
songs, I guarantee.
Yeah, there will be at least
think it's
one
Starship.
song.
Same band.
Same band. So this is what
had a
happened,
name
right?
change.
Yeah, in the 60s, they were Jefferson Aeroplane, and they sung their most famous song. There was two of them. There's the one that's called like White Rabbit, and they always use it in like 60s films when they're doing drugs or whatever. And it's like, it's one about Alice in Wonderland, and she's doing... You'll know it if you... It's called White Rabbit, just have a look at it later. It's the one where it's like, don't remember what the Dormouse said. Yeah, that one. They sung that. They also sung another one where it's like, when I find somebody to love, na 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 na. You know that one? I don't know.
I feel
one.
like if I Google it, I'd know what their music is.
If you listen to them, you will have heard both of them. But anyway, so I think they disbanded or something, and some of them joined together and made Jefferson Starship in the 70s, which are the ones that appear in this. And then after that, they become Starship, just Starship, and they obviously sing We Built This City on Rock and Roll. That's the song that they're famous for.
Carry on
so
my way
that's
with
them.
Son. Good band.
They sing that as well?
Yeah. Carry
Mad.
on my way with Son. Yeah, that's
But yeah. But yeah, anyway, so they do that. They're in it, and they're singing some weird Star Wars thing that doesn't fit at all. But does any of this fit into the Star Wars universe? No, it does not. So after that ends, Son Dan fucks off with while the Imperials continue to search.
But again, we have to listen to the whole song, and Son Dan is checking on if the Imperial officer likes it the whole way through. He's like,
Yeah. You know, actually, before he turns it on, right, what's that really weird thing that he's doing, where he's trying to turn it on, and he's like doing like... He's being really weird. I get that he's trying to put it off, but like... And then the guy's like, get on with it, man! And it's like, what were you doing, though? Were you pretending there was a fly there or something? Like, what was the achievement? I don't know. But yeah, so,
I don't believe. You know how you said this was directed by two people? I don't believe either of those directors was ever present on set. At least not while Art Carney was there, because he was just doing fucking whatever, like in every scene. Like that first one where he just starts talking to himself, like, "Oh, I was trying to be polite. I just don't want to seem to be rude. And he goes on for about like fucking 30 full seconds, and no one stops him.
Either that, or people of the 70s found him absolutely hilarious and was like, "Oh man, we have to keep this in. This is fucking amazing. This is gonna save the whole thing." It's like, no, it's not. But yeah, so they're looking around for rebel materials, and Mala kicks off, and the officer is it Lumpy that one of them kicks off, and the officer tells Marla that if they don't control themselves, what does he say? He says he can't control his men if they get angry. Like, yes, he can. He's the commanding officer. How did he get in the position if he can't control like a simple unit of stormtroopers?
It's a threat, Joe.
I know it's a threat, but like, I wouldn't be threatened by that. I'd be like, why not? Are you not a good boss?
Yeah, but if anyone's going to question Imperial officers, it's you, Joe.
Yeah, I suppose.
We were there bricking it.
It's like, I can't control my officers. Ugh. It's like, why? Fucking try then. Better at your job. Yeah, so anyway, Marla tells them to pack it in, and she tells them to go watch cartoons. And I think this bit, actually, is the most interesting bit of this entire film. Because we get this really weird-looking cartoon, which uses animation that they actually then used, like, a couple of years later for a TV show called Droids.
For the Droid show, yeah.
Yeah. So, and it uses the same animation. It's so weird. And obviously,
did you know?
Boba Fett.
Did you know that Droids, one of the villains in Droids, is called Kylo Ren?
I did know that.
Whoa!
I did know that.
And he's this big fat guy that basically just has Kylo Ren's helmet on top of his head.
Whoa!
It's so weird.
My God.
It looks really strange.
Yeah.
It has a Rey type character in it at some point eventually as well.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
It's. Do you know what? It's fucking disgusting. It's such an ugly fucking art style. I hate every aspect of it. Why does it look right? You know when you go down the high street, right? And you've got those caricature fucking artists sat there, and they've got David Beckham and Robbie Williams. Why does everyone look like that?
See, this is the really weird thing as well, because when George Lucas pitched the idea of them doing a cartoon segment, he was like, I want it to be done in the style of this guy. Let me find, where is he at? A guy called Mobius. And he basically he didn't invent it, but he very much influenced the kind of look of like cyberpunk and stuff, the big cities and the kind of grimy. And like, you probably would have, like, Blade Runner was inspired by his artwork as well. And it's really nice artwork, and it's very similar to this. But this kind of proves that his artwork can't be animated, because it looks terrifying if it was.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the cities and the bit where they go to that city in this cartoon. That's the bit where I was clicked. Oh, is this meant to be this guy's? And it was. And that bit looks nice, but the rest of it looks absolutely terrifying, with the stormtroopers with the massive head but tiny faces, and it's like.
I'd like to know what everyone thinks of A, Boba Fett's eye on his hat, and if they should have kept that maybe, and B, the fact that the Mandalorian costume is clearly just a rip-off of this Boba Fett early design.
I think his gun's
it's basically the same suit. The gun's the same. Like, it's there's so much inspiration for that costume and that look taken from this bit of the holiday special, and I just want everyone's thoughts and feelings on that.
Like, this particular like coded, the way his suit is colored in this is very weird, because it's like, what, I don't know, it doesn't really fit. Like, I can't see it fitting anywhere. It's really weird. But the weird thing about this is, though, right? That bit that they've added recently, not recently, but they've added since it came out, to A New Hope, where he goes to see Jabba, and it's the horrible thingy version of him. It's the horrible CGI version.
Yeah.
And there's that bit where he walks over his tail, and he like jutters as he's going over it.
Yeah.
It's really bad. That's a deleted scene from the original film where Jabba's actually a human and he's this Scottish guy, and you actually hear what he says. And all the stuff is subtitles in the version, the same stuff that he says. But it's why when he gets on the ship, he goes like, Jabba, you're a wonderful human being. And it makes sense in the original scene because he's an actual human being.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if these added it in with CGI, but at the end of that clip, Boba Fett walks into shot. And I know that they did design Boba Fett for A New Hope, but decided to cut him out. Or didn't I? Because there's that famous test footage of him where his suit's like completely white.
Oh,
and he's like walking around,
Yeah.
So if he was in this original footage, then why is he not? His colours are all green and white in that one. Why did they change it for this, only to change it back again?
I think originally his first appearance ever was in this as a cartoon.
Yeah, well that's what I mean.
And then he appeared in Empire.
Yeah,
And
with
then
the
when
normal
they redid
colours.
the A New Hope footage, then they added him in. After
Did they add
his
him in
real
then?
life appearance.
Okay,
Yeah, it
well
was
that makes
afterwards.
sense then. Because I was going to say, if he was in that original scene, then that would make no sense why they changed the colour of him.
Yeah.
Because it's really weird. But yeah, so the one issue I have with him looking, because you think, right, he's watching this cartoon within the universe, isn't he? Like he's actively watching the cartoon.
Yeah.
Why is he watching what I can only assume is rebel propaganda?
Yeah.
While there are Imperial officers searching the house.
Yeah.
And why are they completely unaware of it?
It's
Like,
so
this kid.
risky.
Yeah.
You'd
Like,
put
it's
what
literally
you'd put on is like Sith babies, wouldn't you? That's the cartoon you'd put on.
Literally, yeah.
You wouldn't put on the
You'd
Rebel
put on-
show.
Literally. It's like, oh, it's about all the people who killed all of the people on the Death Star. Let's put one of them on. Hey, oh. It's so weird. But anyway, so as it starts, basic story of it is the Falcon's being weird, and when Luke and Leia try and get in contact, Han is like hanging upside down, and Chewie's not responding, and Luke goes after him and follows him to this moon. They crash land, and they're about to be eaten by the stray monster when someone saves them, none other than Boba Fett. It's like, Boba Fett, rah! It's like, okay, great. Boba Fett takes them to the Falcon, where they find Chewie is destroying this like what do they call it? Tasselman or something? Talisman?
Talisman.
Yeah. I can't remember what it was called. They're destroying it anyway.
Some magical
And-
tassels.
Tasselman. But anyway, it
Your
knocks
go-to
Luke out.
tassels, Sam. Really?
But yeah, no, it knocks Luke out, and C-3PO says it's it's power. The power only affects humans. If that's the case, like, why doesn't Boba Fett get knocked out? Because he's human. I mean, obviously we now know
he's a
he's a
clone.
clone. But like,
So he's Mandalorian.
then,
He's
Well,
a
this
clone
is
of a Mandalorian.
oh wait, no, I
He
was
allowed him to
gonna
have his
spoil-
own kid, so yeah, he's a Mandalorian.
Yeah, I was gonna thingy then. I was gonna spoil something from the last episode of The Mandalorian, but I can't. Anyway, yeah, no, this is the thing.
I
yeah,
get what you
no,
were
but
saying,
like,
wink.
but like, is it because of he's got the helmet on? Is that what it is? But then it's a magic thing that's knocking people out for no reason. I assume it would be able to get through some metal.
Maybe they're implying
I
that
don't
he
know.
wasn't human.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I
wouldn't
think.
I mean, look, I know this is the second Star Wars thing ever, right? But just something being magic and not the Force, it's not really something that happens. So
No.
this talisman was probably more technology based.
Probably.
So maybe his helmet just had like signal blockers in it or
Oh,
something.
maybe. I mean, I think we're thinking about it way too
I was
much.
going to say, definitely.
They probably didn't even give it a second thought why he wasn't knocked out as well. Someone was probably like, I mean, if he's knocked out, why is Boba Fett not human? And he's like, no, probably not. Don't think about it so much, man. Just making a fucking animation, you know what I mean? You know, that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Um,
The writer
but yeah.
probably thought that was Boba Fett's head, and that's why there's an eye in the top.
yeah, you know, maybe, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That might have been what it was. Might have thought it was like a drone or something, or like a droid or something. But yeah, no, anyway, so Boba Fett offers to take him somewhere where he can get something to wake them all up. and then Chewie and Boba head into the city together. They talk. Oh wait, no, hold on. That's my note. This bit here, the way the city's designed is based on like Mobius's like artwork and comics and stuff. It's very similar colour and very very similar design and stuff like that. And obviously George Lucas requested to have it that way. Boba Fett and Chewie head into the city, and Boba tells them he needs to chill out, stay where he is. And instead of, Boba's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Like, I'll go to the store. They'll notice you. This massive fucking walking carpet. You'll be noticed. It's fine. I'll go. You stay here." Instead of going to the store, he FaceTimes Darth Vader. He's the bad guy. Oh, we know he's the bad guy.
Who FaceTimed him?
Yeah, he does. He's like, boom, boom, hey, Darth Vader, how you doing, man? It's like, hey, how you doing? And Lumpy gets scared, obviously, and the officer comes over and thinks he's... he comes over, doesn't he? And he's like, what's going on over here? And then it does the cut to ad breaks, so everyone watching at home thinks something bad's going to happen. And it's like, he come back and he's like, oh, you're just playing a game, how cute. I'm going to go back to searching your house. Let me get on with the animation. C-3PO and R2 intercept the FaceTime call and find out that Boba's actually an evil bastard. We also get the line, "I know why they call you the best bounty hunter in the galaxy," from Darth Vader. I find that really weird. That sounds like something they haven't thought about when they've just been like, "Oh, he's just the best bounty hunter in the entire galaxy." That's bad writing. I just picked up on that. Just
Agreed.
Yeah. So they leave the city and they're pursued by stormtroopers. Boba Fett pretends to fire at them and Chewie doesn't stand for that, so he blows up the ship. Boba Fett gets all pissy about it. They end up going back to the Falcon. They wake up Han and Luke, and Han's face is terrifying. It's like, ugh, Chewie. It's so weird. And he's like proper like squinted eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like...
simultaneously
it's his eyes?
stretched and shrunk.
Yeah, like his eyes are just flat and it's like...
Like Brock
bad.
in Pokemon.
Yeah, literally.
That's the thing, is there are parts where he opens his eyes, though. Like, he has actual eyeballs, but he's just sat there with his eyes permanently closed.
It's like they watched the fucking Godfather or something. It was like, hey, let's make him look like Marlon Brando instead of fucking Harrison Ford. That's what, like, just like, what the fuck? But yeah, no. Harrison Ford put as much effort into the voice work for this cartoon as he did for the original Blade Runner narration.
Oh,
yeah.
Where he's like,
see, I
like,
actually like the narration.
How?
He said, yeah, because he doesn't sound like he's enjoying it, but I feel like it's just good information to know. I don't know, I enjoy it. But yeah, he does sound like he could not be this.
Like, what he's saying, I feel like if he'd actually put the effort in to say it,
yeah,
and make it sound like he actually wanted to be there, it maybe would have been better.
Yeah.
Him doing the same in this probably wouldn't have saved it though.
No.
But like, anyway, so yeah, so he's doing his thing. It's bad. C-3PO just kind of casually tells Luke about Boba Fett and like him and Vader's Skype call, and like Boba just takes off and he's with his jetpack, and then it just ends. They don't pursue him. They don't go after the Imperial spy. They don't do anything about the fact that Vader knows where they are. They just kind of leave.
He's just like, nah, you found me out.
Literally. And it's like, oh, okay. And then Lumpy's well impressed by it. It's like, all right. It's like, what some fine piece of editing that was. But yeah, we go out to real life and the Imperials are trashing Lumpy's room. One even rips the head off like the Bantha toy, like a dickhead. What was that about?
That Bantha toy is the best thing in this whole special as well. It looked really good. I want one.
It did. It was so... He just went, oh man, look at this, mate. Jaw! It's such a knobhead, you know what I mean? Like, I get you the bad guys, but come on. Have a little fucking...
Could have been stashing drugs in it.
Yeah, maybe. What, a kid?
Some death
like,
sticks,
Maybe. Oh man. I actually want them to reappear in Star Wars at some point. I want to know what they do. Like, do you break them and just, like, sniff what's... No, but this is the thing, right? So it's drugs, isn't it? He's like, what about some death sticks? Like, I imagine them being actual sticks that you, like, snap and then, like, you sniff whatever's inside and be like...
See, I see it as a pixie stick.
Oh, what, you like...
Yeah. Shut
and then like chug it back. Maybe I envision it being more like poppers in real life, where you pop the thingy, you like sniff it up, and it gets you high for like 2 minutes or something.
Maybe you just stick the stick directly in your nostrils.
Whoa.
Like those Olbus sticks when you have like a cold and shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this is
maybe.
the Star Wars universe. We're only 10 minutes away from watching someone get a drink in his fucking head.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh my god, yeah. I was trying to think where we
Still got
were in the
that.
story and we're still not done.
Oh man, I need to hurry up and get through this. You know.
It's
man.
10:15.
Oh my god, Christ. So, the officer goes and tells Lumpy to go tidy his room, finds the decapitated bantha, does a funeral for it, and then he watches a tutorial video on the thing he got for Life Day, and that guy's being really weird, and he keeps like breaking down. Of course he
It's
does.
such an in-depth tutorial. Why is it?
Yeah. He's all like, yeah. It's weird. It's so
The
strange.
glitch is, I was watching this with Charlotte, and she literally was, like, started looking away from the screen because she was like, "This is actually making me uncomfortable." Like, why
It's so weird, isn't it?
Why is he moving?
He just
like
freezes and he's like, it's really creepy.
I mean, what is
Um,
that very last bit, right? At the very end, it's near the end of the tutorial where he's like broken down and his like head's on the desk, and he just goes,
Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it?
"No, it's an imaginary line of cocaine."
Yeah. You know what I think it is, right? I think that all these people are all used to doing specials where stuff like that is how you end the sketch. And then they're like, oh, but this is Star Wars. Oh, it's fine. It's still just entertainment, so I'll just carry on doing that.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. But anyway, the robot fucking dies or whatever, and he manages to put the thing together without him. There's another live stream on the TV, and the Imperial Council. Wait, what? Yeah. So he does actually mention the Imperial Council, which I assume is that group of guys that we see in A New Hope.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I assume that's them. So he forced them to watch this Netflix documentary containing the unused Mos Eisley footage. Apparently, all the bits that they just didn't use from all the Mos Eisley stuff from the first film.
Surely, is it unused, or is it just they got everything out of storage, put it all just on a bunch of extras, and had them just bung together a shitty...
Maybe I honestly think that this bit,
cantina set.
the actual cantina bit, I reckon that's what they've done. But the bit when it very first introduces Mos Eisley, and it's all the
definitely
street
unused
shots,
footage.
and even the bit where it cuts into the diner, it's all just unused footage. It has to be. Like, it's too high quality set design for this
Fair
production.
enough.
It doesn't seem like money they would just spend on something this shite. So I know I wouldn't.
Like when B. Arthur starts singing with all the different aliens and that, right? One of them's just a fucking big rat.
Yeah.
Like it's so
so weird.
No like creativity. There's no money. There's just rat, big alien. Like
It's so weird. Oh man. Anyway, yeah, she appears. B. Arthur appears, and she's a bartender, and she's like serving this really creepy dude. He like pours the liquid into his head, and he has 6 fingers. Did anyone else notice that? He's counting to 6, and he does it all in one hand, and it's well weird. And it's like
he gets really happy when that liquid's going down his brain.
He does,
as well.
yeah.
Like
why does he have a mouth? What is
does
his
he
use
eat
for that?
from up here as well?
Does it? Maybe.
He just
What if he just has to like
places
cut
like
it
a
up and
burger.
just?
There's teeth on top of his head as well as just like in his gob.
Oh, would he have to like liquidize everything? Oh, that's well good.
Nope, next, carry on, please.
Anyway, so he
Wouldn't
walks
he always be
behind the
getting
bar.
hair in his like fucking?
Oh god. He has to like use
is
like
so
hairspray all the
wrong.
time. Just imagine with the brush and his hairspray like perfecting it.
He uses the same toothbrush and hairbrush.
Oh god. That's so ringing. Yeah, he has like a thing on he has a fucking mirror on his roof so he can see it. And like mirrors like angling so he doesn't have to look up all the time. He's like
So weird.
bad. Anyway, he ends up walking behind the bar, and he like grabs her, and I was like, "Whoa,
Yeah.
bro, chill out! Actual assault, you know what I mean?" She's fine with it, I guess. Apparently,
She's
So then she
settled
does that
by
thing.
the end of the song. That's what it is.
Yeah.
She's just like,
Well,
fucking, I'm never gonna get rid of this guy. Fuck it.
and she like pours the stuff directly into his head as well. That's like you go into a bar and the bartender just pouring fucking vodka directly into your mouth. It's like, glass, like, oh yeah, man, give us a shot.
I mean, considering how happy it was, it's almost like she tossed him off in the middle of a thing.
Literally, yeah.
Like,
There'll be everyone else who doesn't know what kind of like alien race he is, and there'll be one other version of his, like someone from his planet who knows the kind of kick they get off from that, and just like,
what the fuck?
Fucking sex offender.
Fucking Chewie's dad ends up watching that back on his.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Just, oh yeah, there we go.
Saves it on the fucking his phone and everything's like on the iCloud. That's how Marla finds out, because it gets saved on the iCloud. It's like a family one. It's bad that, you know.
The
iGalaxy. There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. That'll be it, won't it?
Nice.
But yeah, anyway.
iCloud City.
Hey!
There we go.
But yeah, so anyway, the head whore, becomes all depressed, doesn't he? And the Imperials do a thing where they announce like a curfew on Tatooine. So it's like, which at this point it confirms that what they're watching on Kashyyyk is actually a live feed of this fucking bar. So it means that while they are watching something which is Imperial, like the Imperials have forced them to watch, there is then another thing within that forcing the people. It's a whole thing. It's really weird. And then she starts singing, because, you know, of course she does. And she tells everyone to fuck off, basically, and they all end up do. And, she sings a song. What is it she says, like, what's the song called? It's like, My Friend or something, or like...
It's like goodbye, but...
Yeah, it's
not
weird.
farewell or something, it's stupid.
Yeah, something like that. Everyone, she gets everyone out, and the bouncer acts like she's dying or something, and like gives her a kiss or whatever, even though they'll probably see her the next day. Then all of a sudden, like at this point, I thought that it just cut to Tatooine, but then it then shows what we've just seen through the TV in Kashyyyk. So we're still on Netflix. What's that about? I don't get it. It's this fucking Discovery Channel in space, you know what I mean? It's so weird. I don't... Like, where were the cameras? Who was there to film that live feed, you know what I mean? Fucking Facebook Live or something, you know? That's what it must be.
After the Star War is over, right, after Jedi... Do you think they put together like war documentaries and used this like Imperial footage? Like the Imperials would force the bartenders to sing to their patrons and live stream it across the galaxy.
Fucking monsters.
That's
live on Mixer, B. Arthur sings.
Oh man. That's what was really in the fucking Jedi archives, you know what I mean? So what happens? Anyway, we cut back to the house, don't we? And the Imperials get like a message from base telling them to go back, but then the officer tells one stormtrooper to stick around, and then he overhears Lumpy doing it through his thing, which we now know is like a transmitter or something. But this is the thing, that was like an actual human voice coming through the radio. How did he manage that when all he can do is roar? Like, what the fuck? You just have a recording of an Imperial officer being like, "Hey, come back to base, bitch," or something, you know, like, I don't know. Anyway, Stormtrooper kicks off, and he walks slowly behind Lumpy as he tries to escape, chases him outside, where he runs into Chewbacca, whoa! And then Han sneaks up behind him, pushes him over the balcony. I honestly think, right, at this moment, when he pushes him over the balcony, right, do you reckon Chewie's like well annoyed? He's like, fucking hell, Han, I need to fix that railing now. Because I know I would be.
I've
Han
just
doesn't
spent
push him.
1,000
I know he
credits
trips,
doing up
doesn't he, or
this
something?
fucking lawn.
Doesn't even trip him. He fakes moving left, and the
Oh, he
stormtrooper
does, yeah.
commits to go
Like,
and grab
whoa!
him, trips over a bit of wood, and just falls to the railing.
So he indirectly murdered him then. So he didn't technically murder him, but he did.
All the same.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Oh man. So he says hi.
Yeah, those railings, right? How easy are they to fix? because they seem pretty dangerous to have put in place to begin with.
I know, yeah. See, this is the thing, right? If he can just fall over and it snaps, how the hell did fucking Lumpy walk on it earlier in the film and not have it snap? Like, you would assume it if it was that flimsy. I don't know, who knows? You know what I want to see? I want to see an actual Star Wars film based on that stormtrooper that falls to the floor of Kashyyyk, and then has to then spend but he survives, and he has to spend the following days trying to like get back to the Imperial thing, and he's all angry and stuff, and
I have all these weird like Kashyykian monsters and stuff.
Yeah, and he has to fend them off or whatever.
Yeah, but Joe, after
like the
obviously
Revenant.
no Mandalorian spoilers, but after that episode with the speeder bike people, it could work.
Stop with the spoilers.
It could, yeah.
It could
Well,
work.
it's not a
call
spoiler,
it-
but yeah,
you call it-
that could be the film. That could be the.
You call it clumsy fucking cunt, a Star Wars story.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
He's
That's
killing
what it
these
would
animals,
be.
but on accident.
He's doing what Han did to him. He's walking, the animal's running at him, and he just trips over, and the animal goes off a thing, and then you get a sequel which is about the animal down there that is trying to survive as well, and it just goes on. It just keeps going. Oh man.
Can we do this?
If one, that's what we're gonna do. Anyway, obviously he dies, and Harrison Ford goes in. He's hugging everyone. He's saying, "Oh yeah." But then he says hi, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Oh yeah, no, I have to leave now though. I have to go." And it's like, why the fuck did you come in the first place if you just have to leave immediately after getting there? So I just want to make sure when May gets there. Yeah, whatever. He actually what does he say as well? He comes into the house, Han comes into the house, and he has the nerve to tell Chewie to check if the coast is clear in his own fucking house. He's like, "Hey man, don't worry. Oh, check no one's coming in your house, man." And you just know that Chewie's just sort of like, "Hey, fuck off, man. This is my house. You check the coast is clear, bitch."
Check no one's coming is specifically pointing out Itchy there.
Yeah.
It's like, check your fucking
Literally.
dad, man.
Yeah. Oh man, that's why he's not staying. He knows what his dad's like. He's like, it's like, fuck me. Last time I was here, life
If
day.
he stays over, he knows it's 10 minutes before Itchy's showing him his fucking porn collection.
It's like a creepy old man, just like...
Oh, that's actually what I'm imagining.
It's Itchy going...
Oh man. And because it's Star Wars and everything has to just slightly be a little, all the technology has to be slightly outdated. He wouldn't be just sending it on Messenger. It'd be fucking Bluetoothing it or something, you know what I mean? That's what
Handing him
he'd
a
be doing.
copy, a physical copy.
Print it out, faxing it to him. Like, hey, here's my... it'd be like one of those things. It'd be like one of those like sound files that creates an image when you put it into like a processor, and it just creates Star Wars porn. That's what it'd be.
Jesus.
Man. Anyway, Han leaves and Chewie says hi to his farm, and his wife's a little pissed off, but then she gets over it pretty quickly. And they look around, they look like they're about to kiss each other, but then obviously they had to keep the U rating, so they just do a nice hug instead. Like,
Chewie,
Don't worry
checks
about it.
her out. He's proper like...
he does, yeah. He's like, "Oh, girl, I ain't seen you for a while. Heyo. What do I get for Life Day? Wink, wink." That's what he's doing. Anyway, there's another knock on the door. And it's like, oh my god, more stormtroopers again? And no, it's not. It's just someone else. It's fucking Sondan again. And he arrives, and he arrives as a broadcast. They're asking about the stormtrooper that died, and Son contacts the Imperial officer, and he tells him that apparently the trooper took some food and fucked off to the hills, and they buy it and don't look into it any further. And it's like, oh yeah, all right, we won't send anyone to investigate. That's fine. We'll go search for him. No questions asked. You know what I mean? And then he says bye. Then Sondan leaves again. But why did he come back in the first place?
So that
he come
they
pure-
could have a conversation where you understood both sides. Imagine if
But
there'd been that English-speaking Imperial officer trying to talk to the Wookiees and they just growled back and went, "Oh, what was that? You mean to say that he stole some shit and ran away? Oh, okay." Like,
No, but like in the context of the universe, what the fuck is he doing there back? He comes in, does that, and then leaves again. Doesn't bring anything, doesn't take anything, says hi to Chewie, then leaves again.
I think
Such
he's
a
a
weirdo.
glory seeker. I think he wants them to know that he's done that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly think he was in the fucking window waiting for something, and he was like, "Oh shit, something's about to happen!" Fucking, "Heyo, I'm back." That's honestly what I thought. He was just around that corner watching them fucking throw an Imperial officer off the fucking side of the thing, and he's like, "Fucking hell, man, that's gonna hurt in the morning." Heyo.
Ew, what's all that?
That's what he says. That's what he does.
That's a catchphrase.
Yeah. So anyway, the Chewbaccas do the Life Day ritual, and they hold some orbs.
Brilliant.
I assume that's the surname. And then there's the shot where they're holding up the beams, the thing, and they walk through space like fucking God or something. And it's like, hey.
So weird.
I heard someone the other day say the word Chewbacca in a West Midlands accent for the first time,
Oh,
and it
God.
sounded like a slur. It was amazing. It's like, oh,
What
look at
does
that
it sound like?
Chewbacca.
Oh man, that's amazing. I can picture it as well. Oh man. But yeah, so they all stick on a bunch of robes, and the reason I had found the reason they're all wearing robes in this scene is because apparently they didn't have the money to dress all the extras up in like Wookiee clothing, so they just stuck them all in robes and gave them masks, and that's why they're wearing red robes.
Love that.
Nice.
So they go to the Tree of Life, which is the bit that's actually canon. Like, Life Day in the Star Wars canon is a day where everyone collects around the Tree of Life, and like, it's really weird. It's like the Wookiees collect around the Tree of Life and they like appreciate Wookiee culture. But then I also read a thing where it's like the Olympics, where each planet selected a different year to host it. And I don't know which one's true. It's really weird. I can't imagine that being something the Empire like keeps on doing, but who knows?
I think there's something in Fallen Order about a big tree.
Yeah, the tree. Well, that's what I mean.
Please
it's the big
tell
tree.
me there's a mission in Fallen Order where you walk across space.
I hope so. Like, I genuinely, right, if I worked on any of these games, like Battlefront 2, like there's a map in Battlefront 2 where you go to Kashyyyk, I would genuinely put an Easter egg where I would just put the fucking living room from this into it,
absolutely.
and you can just go into it and be like, oh, it's the fucking, and indirectly confirm it, but oh well. But anyway, so they go to the big tree from Avatar, and they what do they do? Yeah, so and then right, all of a sudden, right, all the original cast appears, and Luke is wearing his Tatooine costume. Why? Like, what the fuck? What's that about? And that's the thing as well, right? Han just appears right now. He's just told him he has to stay with the ship. Why is he here now?
Joe, it's time to celebrate a day of peace.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but he's
A day of peace and harmony.
To the Star
Yeah, I
Wars theme.
suppose. Yeah, apparently, yeah. Apparently, yeah. Anyway, so obviously these three, enemies of the Imperial fucking army, like, managed to sneak through this Imperial quarantine and get there in one piece. And then we get the big moment of the whole thing. Leia sings. And we get a close-up on Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford as they
Harrison Ford looks
contemplate why
so
they
bored.
agreed. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, why did we agree to do this? This is
He's like,
awful.
It literally looks like the shot of Harrison Ford was done between takes. That's what it looks like.
Exactly
It is.
what it looks like.
Literally. And the thing about this is as well, right? I read something that said Carrie Fisher, the only reason she agreed to do this was on the condition that she could sing at some point in it.
I mean, considering her
This was
mom's...
her choice.
Yeah. Her mom's Debbie Reynolds, though, so, like, a
Yeah.
musical star. So I just assume her at the age of, 17, 18, I'm going to do what my mum did. Right, let me sing. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I don't know if Debbie Reynolds did Harrison Ford as well, but maybe. Who knows?
Maybe.
But yeah, no, she sings, and I feel like the writers didn't want to make her sing, so they gave her the worst song they've ever written in their entire life.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you want to sing? Sing that. And she
If
does.
she did want to do what her mum did, they managed to kill that career in a fucking second.
Yeah. It's not great, is it? It's like, don't sing. And then I feel bad for no wonder fucking Ben Solo went to the dark side. If his mum sings like that to him every night before bed, like, I'm not surprised he becomes fucking Kylo Ren, honestly. But yeah, then she stops singing, and we get a small advert for A New Hope to just remind everyone that Star Wars was actually good at some point. Just, don't forget that we actually did make a good film. And then they have the meal, and it pans out, and we get a shot of the house, and then it ends. And then, yeah, there you go. That's the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh.
I apologise for making you watch it.
Well,
so yeah,
that was the Star Wars Holiday Special. So what we're going to go do now is we're all going to give our final thoughts about this product. This thing that exists.
This collection of frames.
And give it a score out of 10. And then I'm going to use maths to give it an overall score out of 100. And we're going to find out where it's going to rank on
What's a mystery?
The best to worst movies of all time. Oh, Amelia, take it away.
I'm not going to talk too long about this because you can tell by the way we've been acting. We can't be bothered. It's such like a... Do you know what?
If they couldn't be bothered when they were making it, why should we be bothered now?
No, exactly. It makes no sense. I feel bad for everyone that had to work on it, but purely because people had to work on it. And yeah, I'm going to give it a 2. Not even 2. Yeah, 1. I changed my mind. 1. Oh. Just for the fact that people made like an effort to work on it. That's it.
Jacob.
Well, is it possible to give something a 0 out of 10?
Yeah.
It's a number.
No, I am allowing it.
Yeah, no. Straight up fucking 0.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, why there's some Star Wars things that just shouldn't exist. Then again, that's about half the franchise at this point, realistically.
Boom!
But this is...
Zing!
If you think the Star Wars, the actual episodes are bad, oh boy,
this
you
is
have
so much
you have
worse.
not seen like how bad things can get. Yeah, no, fucking nothing. Doesn't deserve
0.
anything.
Yeah. Joe.
I didn't mind it. It was all right.
Son of a bitch. No.
I'm joking. Give it 10 out of 10. You're right. Yeah. No, it's god awful. It's like when you watch things like you watch films like The Room, and it's so bad, and that's why you like it.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, hey Mark, it's quotable lines. This is just so bad that it baffles you that it ever got approved to be released on TV. How did they watch this back and think like yeah, it's alright, let's stick it on TV. Like, the same could be said for other Star Wars films, There's that, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but there's a clip from George Lucas watching the first cut of Phantom Menace, and everyone's just like, oh, fucking hell. And he's like, we want to cut some things out, but it's all intertwined, so we can't. And he just turns to the camera and he's like, I think I made a few mistakes in a few places or whatever. And he's like, oh. Like, if he thought that was bad, like, I honestly think that in that moment, he was having flashbacks to watching the final cut of this.
Probably.
And if it was me in that situation, I'm in my head, I would have been like, this is bad, but it's not as bad as the holiday special. There is no one who worked on this film that liked it, and I'm gonna give it a 1 purely based on something like you said, Amelia. People were paid for this. People actually was able to earn money from it, and that's the only good thing that came from this. So a 1.
Yeah.
Bad.
I think you're both being generous. I'm with Jacob on this one. This gets a 0, I'm afraid. Because the thing is as well, this had to be sold to advertisers. Like, ad slots were placed on this because it was on TV. And somehow people said, yeah, absolutely, we want to advertise our product during this.
I think it was aired once as well. One time it was aired.
It's bafflingly bad. I said earlier about how it could be a viable form of torture because there's no way of knowing when it's going to end. I totally stand by that. Only Mark Hamill seems to know what he's in, and even he's going rogue on it. It's one of these where like, there are some things that are bad on this level where you can watch them and enjoy them because they're funny and this started out like that. Like 20 minutes in, I was like, this is really hilarious, and then towards the end, I was literally like, I felt like a pain in my head. I was like, I just want it to go away. I can't bear any more of this. Yeah, if you think modern Star Wars is bad, please watch this. I promise you. If regardless of the quality of Rise of Skywalker, I promise you, if you think that's the worst thing that happened to the franchise, you've not watched this.
Definitely.
0.
Yeah.
Which, overall, gives
this is
it a
tense.
5 out of 100. 5 points out of a possible 100.
Wow.
Placing it firmly as the worst movie of all time. It may never, ever be surpassed.
I honestly can't think of a single thing that could beat this.
Nope.
Like, genuinely. I
Well,
don't
then
think there... Like, if there is a film that can beat this, it hasn't been made yet.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do.
Yes.
We need to make a film so bad that it beats this. It's just 2 hours of someone watching paint dry. And you know what? That might be more entertaining than this was. Well, this is
I agree.
But, yeah. More story.
Which brings us to the most important bit of the show, and that's finding out what we're going to be watching next week. Now, it's not actually technically going to be next week. Next week is we're going to put up a best of 2019, all of our best bits of the show. But the week after, we're going to return. It's going to be the brand new year, and it's my choice, and I want 2020 to be most excellent, everyone.
Oh, no.
So I want to watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Good. I've not
Nice.
fully
Nice.
seen that yet, so I'm down. I'm 100% down for that.
No.
So join us. It should. So yeah. It's next Sunday is going to be. Fingers crossed that I get it done in time. Best of 2019, and then join us the week after that for our regularly scheduled programming. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Nice.
Thanks everyone for watching. Let us know what you thought of the holiday special in the comments down below. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.